Let me start first with the question, what all can a classroom where we learn Slovenian language be? And during the presentation, I will try to answer this question. So, my contribution consists of three parts. The first part, I will shortly introduce to you the Year Plus module. In the second part, I will talk about the additional activities within this module. And in the third part, I will say something about these additional activities as sort of experiential learning or learning beyond the classroom. So first, some words about the Year Plus module, which is primarily intent to teach the non-native speakers, to the non-native students, which are studying at the University of Ljubljana. The University of Ljubljana offers this module to its international students who are regularly enrolled in their first cycle, second cycle, or single master's programs in the first year of their studies in Ljubljana. This program is not intended for students on their mobility, since they are offered different opportunities to learn Slovenian. I must say that the majority of students enrolled in the Year Plus module come from the countries that were formed in the borders within former Yugoslavia, so from Serbia, Bosnia, the Republic of North Macedonia, Croatia, and Montenegro. These students are joined to a lesser extent by students from other countries of the Slavic world, especially recently from Russia and Ukraine. But each year we also have one or two groups of students who are not speakers of any Slavic language. Each academic year, since 2016, approximately 350 students have been enrolled each year, so which means that so far around 2,500 students have studied Slovenian as a part of the module Year Plus. I must say that learning and developing proficiency in Slovenian language is essential for students studying in Ljubljana, as Slovene is the only media of instruction in almost all programs of the university. In addition to learning Slovenian language, the Year Plus module also allows international students to extend their first year studies so that they can make their first year in 2 years instead of 1 year, if of course they meet certain requirements. In addition to the regular classroom work, a range of additional activities for students are organized. These activities are either compulsory or mandatory, or they're optional or elective. To be eligible to seek the final exam, which is oral and written, participants have to attend at least 80% of the program and complete all the compulsory additional activities, which are listed here in this slide, and two or three optional activities, which are shown on the next slide. So this is a list of these additional or optional elective activities. So as you can see, the list is quite extensive, and the students can find things that they are very much interested in. There is a big variety on offer, from guided tours and walks around the towns to the visits of the different fairs, museums, and galleries. Various lectures and workshops are on offer. There are, of course, some practical as well as pedagogical and psychological and sociological reasons for introducing these additional activities. These activities mentioned here enables students to develop their intercultural competence. The activities expose them to different aspects of Slovenian society and culture and allow them to experience parts of life in Slovenian environment. They compare, for example, Slovenian society with their own culture, look for positive and negative aspects of it, and adapt to life in Slovenia. This way, the learning of Slovene language becomes also experiential, because in an authentic environment, they get to know parts of Slovenian reality, which they try to integrate into, and at the same time, they also have the opportunity to test their knowledge, their proficiency of Slovenian language acquired in the classroom, also in an authentic environment. They test their communicative abilities in Slovene, both when communicating with foreign speakers, their classmates, for example, and with native speakers of Slovenian language. During activities outside the classroom, participants socialize even more intensively with their peers and start to form a supportive social network. This also offers psychological support to individuals in need, which is particularly important when starting their studies and stay in Slovenia. In the evaluation of the year class module, students report the great value of attending the year class module, especially in terms of making contacts, and they report the socialization opportunities of spending time together with peers who have similar experiences, similar needs, expectations, and last but not least, also similar or identical problems at the beginning, of course, at the beginning of their stay and studies in Slovenia. They also report a feeling of safe environment that is created by the implementation of the year class. I must say that the literature, considerable attention has been paid to forms of language learning beyond the classroom. More recently, the focus has been mainly on activities that are taking place in a virtual environment. But our idea was completely the opposite. We wanted to complement the classical classroom work with as many activities as possible that are taking place in the real world. So, in an authentic environment where language learners are able to interact as much as possible directly with both native and non-native users of Slovenian language. All these activities, that all these activities provide an opportunity also to get to know the Slovenian reality, and thus promote intercultural dialogue and development of intercultural communicative competence, as well as give the students who their autonomous learning. And here are some results from the evaluation. In the academic year 2022-23, around 170 respondents were engaged in this questionnaire, and the rating of these extracurricular activities mentioned before were the highest ever, with an average of 4.6 out of 5. But the highest rate in our system is 5, which means excellent. And 64% of the students rated these extracurricular activities as excellent, and other 30% rated them as very good. And it was the highest score from the year 2016. Besides that, we also asked students which three activities that they have taken part in they considered to be the most meaningful complements to their regular Slovenian course. And the results show that the participants rated visits to Slovenian towns as the most meaningful additional and complementary activity. And 4 such visits were organized during the academic year 2022-2023. Teachers actually accompanied students and guide them to different Slovenian towns. Ljubljana, and it seemed that the participants have very little knowledge of Slovenian towns, including Ljubljana, even though that they are studying there, but they wanted to get to know them and learn more about them. The second one, highest scored, was the workshop on Slovenian literature and the guided reading of Slovenian literature. But this is not to be expected, as literature and its reading is a standard component of the classical language course. Also, visits to the museums and galleries and watching Slovenian films or movies were also rated quite high. Third perspective on the evaluation is the direct feedback of some students. It's a written feedback from them, and all of these feedbacks are very positive. The extra activities are a fantastic part of the course, for example, or it has helped me a lot to feel like I can in my whole life, but also express what I told before, this anxiety and also finding a peer community within the class model and exceptional in these additional activities. I feel like this academic year has been the hardest period of my life, but apart from the commitments, the year class has helped me a lot of people to make me less lonely. And now to the conclusions. In the light of our experience, as well as the results of the surveys carried out so far, we consider that the additional activities presented constitute a meaningful and qualitative complement to the regular work in our language classes within the class module. We will therefore continue to do so in the future, but we will need to integrate these activities into the regular course itself, especially in terms of better preparing students for the implementation of each activity. We are aware that preparation for the activity itself is one of the key stages of experiential learning. Similarly, more energy will need to be invested in the phase of direct response with direct feedback to the activities, which is also an important phase of experiential learning. And this is it. This is a part of the bibliography use. And thank you very much for your listening. Let's see your questions now from the floor. I need to change my glasses. Yes.